what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Sleeping Warrior, The Plain Truth, Ranty Flat Earth, and Chocolate Saying. Good to have you all.
I'm just waiting to be kicked.
You won't be kicked now. I'm backdoor patrolling now.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Arwin.
Arwin's not here.
Oh, is he gone?
I think he dropped while I was arguing with him.
I think he elf quit.
Do either of you have him blocked? Because if not, he can just join. This is a new hangout. I'm pretty sure I've put the link in Master B now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I wanted to ask Arwin, was he going to show in the scientific method that there are two causes to the one effect? Because he has to manipulate one to cause the effect, right? So how would he manipulate one and prove the other? And you have to make one a control. And obviously he admits that he can't manipulate gravity. So then the concession that he must have to make would be that if he can't prove gravity within the scientific method, then it's a story. But he's not in,
Anthony,
so he doesn't have to do it.
Anthony, I've kind of missed what's going on, but there does seem to be a lot of chat about this Foucault's pendulum or something. Can you explain what's been happening with that?
I have no idea.
Right, okay, well, I don't know what it is either, so there just seems to be people talking about it and referencing you, so...
Foucault's pendulum is said to prove the rotation of the Earth, but it doesn't do any such thing.
There we go. Perfect. Housekeeping, though? Have we done that today?
Any signs of curvature? Don't all answer at once.
No. No evidence of curvature.
Axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
No. What about Bill Miller?
Yeah, any signs of Bill Miller?
No evidence. Do you mean Bill
George
Miller or do you mean Brian Mullins? Because I'm not quite sure.
Not sure either.
Well, George is in, so maybe he can join the panel and tell us where he is.
Yeah, George, you join. What?
Rumper says Riley posted a video last night and then he deleted it.
I have no idea. I don't know what you're talking about, Lee.
Fair enough.
Okay. Hello, John. John, hello.
Willie, come here.
Good to have you.
Tilly Willie.
John.
You move.
Hello.
Tilly Willie.
What's
Tilly
up?
Willie.
What's up?
Let's just mute Anthony. Yes. Hey,
Tilly
John.
Willie.
He's shouting at the dogs.
Oh, what's that? Sorry, you can hear that.
Hey, John. Good to
What's
have
up?
Sorry, I didn't
on,
realise that.
gentlemen?
I thought I'd muted myself. I'm sorry.
you. That's okay.
Anyway, where were we? Housekeeping. Any
Yes.
signs of gravity?
No signs of gravity.
Absolutely no signs whatsoever of gravity. There's only a sign
Gravity.
of one force.
Gravity.
Density.
Which
That's
one?
all we can see. Just one. Which one? What?
Take your pick. Whichever side, whichever one you want.
What's that?
What about pressurized system next to a vacuum? That's what we had on the last two shows.
You already had 2 shows.
No.
Yeah, this is show 3.
You're kidding me.
No.
No, not at all.
Oh, man, you're killing me, dude.
We're having 6 today, mate.
All right, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Right. What about, where were we? Self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
There's definitely no evidence of that, Nathan. None whatsoever.
And I bet you can't say that 5 times real quick.
What about the presupposition itself? Any signs of radius? Any scientific evidence of
Sorry, Nathan, that's a negative as well. There's no signs whatsoever of any radius to the Earth. None.
What about the distance to the sun?
Distance to the sun. It's based on the transit of Venus, apparently, and partly to do with the transit of Mars, and the presupposition or the assumption that Venus was the same size as Earth, according to Huygens and Cassini. And apparently, what's his name? Jimmy is pulling the victim card, and he thinks that we've misrepresented him. So on Monday, he's looking forward to joining the hangout and telling us that we've misrepresented him. So don't worry, Jimmy, I'll have my video queued up with exactly what you said, and you can tell us exactly where we misrepresented what you did.
Excellent. I think that's pretty much it. I think that concludes the housekeeping, unless I've missed anything. Anybody?
No.
Don't
No.
think so.
You did do a video, though, didn't you, Anthony, this morning, I believe? Simon Dan?
So Sly Sparkane had a hangout apparently, and I caught a clip of it from courtesy of Ranty, and in it, Sean Huffraud has been trying to tell people that it's plausible that somebody's managed to get 25,000 subs in 10 days, and he underplayed it. He said it was 15,000 subs, but if you look on Social Blade, it says that it's I think it was 30,000 subs in the last two weeks. Or 15,000 subs in the last 10 days. Well, either way, no Simon Dan is supposedly
Simon Dan.
the new hot thing of Flat Earth.
Simon Dan?
Yeah.
No Simon Dan.
Oh, wait a second. This moron did a hit piece on like Foucault Word. It was months ago, like, I don't know, 3-4 months ago. I was just perusing videos and it popped up, and I listened to the video in between laughing out loud, and I posted something to him, to challenge him. This dude couldn't tell the difference between a Bunsen burner and a beach ball. It was that bad. You're saying he's got 25,000 subscribers?
Well, more like
36,000 subscribers.
Dude,
he's got 25.
Dude, he only had 125 when I commented.
He only had 20, he only had 606 at the beginning of June.
Well, Sean credited him with 15,000, he said, in the hangout. But it's actually 25 in the last 2 weeks, or 33,000 in the last just over 2 weeks. Look on Social Blade for the authority for that. You'll find it on Social Blade.
I think it was like 13,000 in 2 days.
What are they hiring preschools?
I don't know.
Paying for them.
He's claiming that he's not bought any subs whatsoever or views. It's ridiculous.
Have you watched any of his videos?
Yeah, rubbish.
Yeah, they're responding to people like me.
Yeah, they're responding to almost unknown YouTubers, less than 1,000 subs in most cases. Hey Simon, how you doing?
Unbelievable.
Oh, that's
Simon
not
Dan,
Simon.
hello. Tim Allen, hello.
Gonna get sniped to all hell now, aren't we?
I'm gonna take him out.
This guy, Elmer Fudd's blushing.
Well, listen, he had his video that he released last week had apparently 1.3 million views.
On what? What did he do? On what?
He debunked a gate.
He debunked a gate.
He debunked what?
A gate.
So funny. It's better than my Foucault's video.
I still didn't get it. I still didn't get it. What was it?
He debunks. There's another flat earther that's like opening and closing a gate, and he debunks whatever's being asserted about the gate.
Are you saying gate like Gate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like my gate to my backyard?
Yes. Yes.
What in the world?
Oh, it's very compelling. 1.2 million views, mate. You can't knock it.
Oh man, we just stepped off into bizarro world. What in the world is going on there, people?
Well, I think it's his personality that wins people over. Hello, SX0. Hello.
Yeah, and gay haircuts as well. That wins people over. Well, the worst thing is, though, Sean Hufford has been presenting that it's plausible. And when he told Sly Sparkane about it, Sly's reaction was, who? And he was like, oh, Sly Man Dan, you not heard, man? Started laying it on thick. Sly's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's the same kind of reaction that GeoStreamer had when somebody suggested that it might be GeoStreamer that was listening to the Hangout that was being presented back through the microphone.
Nathan's got a little music video that I made of them doing it. The responses. Hello, Frank.
Oh, we're getting trolled again. To all hell. Hey, Gods, you a real person?
Yeah, it's me.
Good to have you. I know, kicked off the panel.
We going?
Yeah, I might.
I thought you were doing some homework there, Ranty.
No, Ranty's already been kicked, so I'm going to have to unfortunately start yet another hangout. So
okay. I'll jump out.
Yeah,
you gonna put in Master B's?
Yeah, it'll be a Master B. So yeah, check out Master B.
So what should you get your cig?
Yes, exactly. Wife's out the house. I can smoke indoors. No chance. She's too busy. Hey ho. Right, let's do this. Are you up in St. Bees, Anthony?
No, I'm in Sefton Park in Liverpool.
Okay.
Right near, Strawberry Fields. Strawberry Fields forever.
Sure.
Around the corner from there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any particular reason? Just family and friends?
It's walking the dogs. It's the Westie Walk this week. So we're out with the
Okay.
Westies.
Did you see any of the last two shows?
I was listening to most of it. I was kind of in and out of signal, so I've been listening as much as I could and commenting periodically, but it's not been easy because there's 50 dogs all yapping about different things. So when they kick off in the background, I'm kind of watching my own three, stopping them from fighting. But yeah, I'm about half a mile away from Strawberry Fields forever.
Doing well, covering my dead air that I'd normally have.
Yeah. I'm just laughing at Simon Dan and how Sean's trying to persuade people that it's plausible that anybody in this little corner of the internet that we occupy, called Flat Earth, can get 30,000, not even like people like Dubé that resets his channel, can get that 35,000 subs in less than, just over, I think it was 21 days. Go and look on Social Blade, you'll see it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy, crazy growth. I liked your video though. You showed
In the gate video.
Yeah, you showed your sources for buying subs.
Say that again.
On your video that you did today, at the end of it, you showed like a site that you can buy subs from. I thought it was
all I did was, how do you buy subs on YouTube? And then that was the first result. I don't even know if it works. It's not an advert. It was just showing how you can do it, apparently.
Okay.
So make sure you go over to my channel and check out Sean Hufford trying to trivialise and rationalise the possibility that anybody in Flat Earth can get 35,000 subs in just over a fortnight. It's ludicrous. Yeah, if I'd have done that, do you think that Sean Hufford would be sucking my dick? No, he wouldn't. But it can be arranged, though, Sean.
No need.
I mean, I don't know how much it'd cost, but it'd probably be about 50 quid.
God, do you have to?
Do you want to play that video?
I just find it, to be honest, I just find the double standards despicable because, if it was me that had got 35,000 subs and tried to pass them off as, real and legit, they'd be all over that. They'd be all over it like a rash.
Who? Simon Dan. Who's that? Who?
Chucking the dogs in the car.
Simon Dan. Who's that? Who? Simon Dan. Who's that? Who? Simon Dan. Who's that?
Who is that? Who is that on that video?
Sean Hufford and Slice Barcane.
Slice Barcane, Mr. Randomized double-blind placebo-controlled experiment on the spare Earth.
That's exactly the one. I leveled that at him and he was like, you telling me I don't know the hypothesis for the Cavendish experiment? I was like, no, you didn't formulate a hypothesis for your experiment.
What I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to drop on this call while I chuck the dogs in the car because we're getting ready to go. So I'll give you a buzz back in a bit on Skype.
No worries. Shout out to Retro Bill, is it, for the super chat? Thank you very much.
Actually, the Limitless channel, they admit that it's they can buy views and stuff. Perhaps you could tell us how much is it to get, like, I don't know, 10,000 views or 10,000 subscribers? You know, would you be able to put that in the side chat?
Yeah, give us a rough estimation of how much Simon Dan's blown on his channel, just to have us take the mickey out of him.
You guys are all firing up, man. What the heck happened earlier, man?
Got overrun with trolls, so Ranty got kicked out, and then the trolls just came in and kicked everybody out. So it was just
Nathan,
me against
brother,
several
you're
other
not
ballers.
sounded very good, man.
By the way, listen, when the link gets sent, when the link gets put public, I swear now, if they don't speak within 1 second, they don't say something, they're getting kicked immediately. So they have to speak when they join. So even if it's to say, it's me, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm real, fine. Yeah. But if you go on mute, you're obviously here to snipe. I have to kick you.
Nathan, did you catch what's up with you, man? You don't sound good.
Me, I just got cold. I'm alright.
Oh, okay.
I'll live. Right.
Oh, yeah, so it also seems that there's a few people that are a bit upset with me for setting a Patreon account up. Which, I've lost about 5 subscribers, so...
Is that so?
They're voting with their feet.
Right, if you can chat amongst yourselves for 2 minutes, I'm going to make a cup of coffee, then I'll put the link out, so I've got caffeine inside me.
Okay. Right, I've got the back door open. So unless, like, 3 join at once, should be all right.
The back door is open. Randy, this is a family show.
You've got to watch your back door, mate. People try sneaking in all the time.
Yeah, always got to guard the 6, man.
So what have you been up to, John?
Nothing, man. I just woke up just a little while ago and I jumped on. I thought this was, the second show. I knew I missed the first show, but I didn't know what went on there, so I just popped in. And now you guys have already done 2 shows. Jeez, oh man. I can't get up that early, man. Can't do it.
Well, we had the Rumpus in. He was in before. We had Slice Barcane in before.
Oh, you had Slice Barcane in?
Yeah.
Mr. Randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, spherical Earth experiment guy.
That's the guy. The guy that will say to us that we're snipers and he won't allow us to have a link into his channel. But yeah, he's free to come into this as he likes, and yeah. But we're only allowed to talk to him from the side.
Hey, next time he comes in, man, ask him the difference between grid and magnetic azimuth.
If you'd have been up earlier, you could have asked him yourself, mate.
Oh, man.
But you get for lying in bed.
Sorry about that.
You're slacking, pal. Slacking.
I know. Shamming you.
I don't know.
So what else is going on? That video that Nathan did yesterday, I'll tell you what, man. I didn't know if I was going to make it. I mean, I was literally rolling on the floor. My gut hurt so bad.
Yeah, that video was hilarious.
Oh, man.
Well, I don't know why they've doubled down and tripled down and said that Gem Panda wasn't being fed when it's absolutely clear as day they're having a conversation.
Who?
Gem Panda. It was. Oh, sorry, GeoStreamer. Sorry, my mistake.
GeoStreamer. You mean?
Yeah.
That's Betty's bitch.
It is. That's right.
That's Betty Van Velsen's bitch.
Really?
It was comical, dude. I mean, this guy, GeoStreamer, a self-professed master's candidate in chemistry, got whipped around by his short hairs, right? By Betty. Just clobbered. You guys see that video yet?
No. Well, maybe he didn't have his pals in the background on TeamSpeak.
Oh, he was trying to appeal to him. Listen, when she busted him and then laughed in his face because he didn't know what a scientific hypothesis was, this guy immediately went, he flipped up his screen and started bombarding her with all these equations, right? And she's there, wait a second, equations aren't science. And he's there, what? Yes, they are. She said, give me the equation for germ theory, right? This guy said, wait, he's trying to think of it, right? And then when he couldn't think of it, he started appealing. He started appealing to chat, some kind of micro IQ guy in chat. He's supposed to be a biologist. He's like, shut up, shut her up. It was hilarious, dude. You need to get that. You need to check that video out, man.
Oh,
yeah, sounds like what we had earlier. So Rumpus was doing pretty much the same thing.
What was he doing?
Well, he presented a mathematical formula and told me that it was a hypothesis. And I said, well, give it me in alternate and null format. And then he spent 32 minutes not doing that.
An equation for a hypothesis?
Yeah, he said that's what all scientific hypotheses are.
Hang on, didn't he write the same one out for both?
He did
initially. Equation. He wrote the same equation out for both.
Wait a second. You're way ahead of the game here. That's tantamount to asking a neurosurgeon to show you a cerebellum, and he shows you a facultative anaerobe woodpecker. What in the world? Hypotheses, they're not equations. And I missed that.
Yeah, it's a
shame.
You
missed it.
Unbelievable, dude. What was his independent variable? The equal sign?
He had three. So again, on the I think it was the show previous, he wanted to explain that he had multiple independent variables. Two of them are held as controls, and once you validate one, then you introduce the other.
Wait. What was the equation?
I don't have it in front of me. He was talking about Cavendish. So he's saying that you've got three different independent variables.
And he put, what formula did he put on?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
I didn't take a screen cap or anything. Sorry.
It was on last show though, so you can.
I can go and have a look. If you give me 2 seconds, I'll tell you. Hold on.
Make sure you get the one where he repeats the same equation for the different.
Right.
For the independent, etc.
No wonder you guys are all jacked up, man. And I missed it.
Well, I was on my own for most of it because everyone got kicked out.
You were on your own with just Rumpus?
Well, no.
No. Slice Bar Kane.
Oh, jeez.
And Milo. Not that I'm complaining.
Oh, God. The Triple Crown, huh?
So it's gravity alternate hypothesis. So the alternate hypothesis is F equals G M1 M2 over R2.
He put that as the hypothesis?
Yeah.
Where did he get G from?
It's a constant, apparently.
Yeah, but G is the alleged result of the Cavendish experiment.
Yeah,
how is it in there beforehand?
I tried to ask him that too. Which is it, the cause or the effect? And he told me I didn't understand. And then he formulated it, and he said he had if mass as the independent variable. I said, so mass is the cause. And he said, no. I was like, but you've got mass as your independent variable. It's like, no, it's just one of them.
Oh my God, boy, I missed it. I missed it, man. Sorry about that.
No, it's
get a screen grab, Nate. Get a screen grab and put it up.
Okay.
I mean, he had a lot of trouble just using what was it he was using? Was it Word or something?
Something like that. Very complicated stuff.
He was struggling to use that.
If I send it to you, Ranty, can you display it?
Yeah. But I won't be able to watch the back door though. Yeah.
It's okay. I'll bring it up.
I think Simon's going to be doing a video about us today as well, so he said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He wants to bet his channel against our channels.
Oh, I can't share it. I can only show it the audience.
That's fine. We can watch. Can you watch it, John, from the YouTube page?
Hold on 1 second. So you want me to go to the last?
No. Just join the live stream on YouTube.
The live show.
Nathan Oakley 1980, and he'll be live.
Oh, he can't show it in the Hangout.
Yeah, it's for some reason it doesn't like to find my photo viewer in the Google Hangout application to present it. So if I've ever got a photo for some reason, I can't share it in the Hangout. I don't know why.
Hold on.
But if you get to the live show, you can see his alternate and his null.
Ooh. Did we get a value there, the Limitless channel? Did you manage to find out how much it costs for those subscribers and views?
Yeah, if you can give us an estimation, Limitless channel, just roughly, how much would it cost to go from less than 1,000 subs to 36,000 subs?
All right, I'm on it. Let me maximize this a little bit so I can see it. So he's got two formulas for the alternative hypothesis and the null. I'm speechless. Unbelievable. What the heck? 0 equals GM. Oh my God. Can we get let's get somebody that's let's call a college professor. Let's do a Robert Bassano, call a college professor, get a physics professor in here. He'd see that, he'd die from tear-jerking belly laugher syndrome, dude. Preposterous.
But that's how they're all formulated according to Rumpus. That's science right there, not mathematics.
Oh my goodness. I don't know, dudes. I'm gonna have to take a vacation from this because it's not even stupid.
Yeah, it's laughable. As I say, if you've got enough of them saying the same thing, they class that as a win.
A win?
Yeah. Until Milo and Rumpus start arguing about whether or not an independent variable is independent or not. And Milo's arguing
did they start arguing?
Yeah, he's arguing that mass is the independent variable, and Rumpus is saying, no, there's 3.
Priceless, man. And that's what video is that? First or second one?
I think it's the second one, 421.
Yeah, I got a lot to look forward to after this hangout then.
Yeah, it was quite good fun.
Is it as funny as the GeoStreamer last night? Dude, you killed me, man.
Well, that was your idea, so I can't really take credit for it because you came up with some script ideas, which I robbed quite a lot of. So I would credit that mostly to you, actually.
Yeah, but you deviated a bit, but that's okay, man. I like the ad lib. It was hilarious. Unbelievable. Geo, this is Salmon. I'm here for you. How'd that come across?
Terrible. Really plosive. It's all good.
Oh, brother.
So, where's all the trolls gone? The link is public.
Where's Anthony?
He's on Skype. Shall I try him? I think he's probably driving now. Give him a go, though.
Oh, he's going on vacation.
No, I think he's just taking the dogs for a walk. See if I can get him.
In the middle of a show?
Yeah.
He got his priorities all out of whack.
Now, I have heard on the grapevine about this Simondan. I've heard that apparently YouTube are putting him on recommendations.
Say that again, Renty.
What?
Say that again.
I said I've heard on the grapevine by a few different people that Simondan is apparently being promoted by YouTube, as in they're coming up. He's coming up in the recommendations in their feeds, and this is to do with his spike in subscribers, apparently.
Well, people come up on YouTube anyway. That doesn't mean anything.
I know, but I find it that YouTube were announcing just a couple of weeks ago that there was a lot of, in their opinion, fake news going around, and how could they combat that? So obviously, it seems to me that it might be a little bit the promoting people that are trying to promote science.
I think you're overestimating the value of Simondan. I don't think he'd be the one they picked.
I know that. He's a gimp, and nobody ever really watches his stuff anyway. He's shit.
Sorry, can I just respond? Sorry to interrupt. Can I just respond to George? Is Riley here and ready to talk? Yes, George. Feel free to join.
Well,
George,
I'm here, but I'm not really able to talk that much because I'm like, well, I'm in and out of signal because I'm where I am. But sure, George, if you can show the current science for the distance to the moon or to the sun and how they got it, sure, join. Let's have a look and see what you got.
George who?
Netanyahu.
You're
He's
kidding
the one that
me.
talks in anagrams.
He's the one that said Bill Miller.
Oh, so you guys are still entertaining this?
Yeah, of course, because he's a liar. Why would we not entertain it?
You don't give platform to scumbags.
I do.
But that's
all are welcome.
It's not my.
I was going to say, what's Nathan doing then?
I was going to say that's my whole gig.
It's not the Jeremy.
So by that definition, me, Ranty, and John must all be scumbags.
It's the Jeremy Kyle of Flat Earth. This.
No, that's when the rumpus joins. You got rumpus with no teeth, and you got Sly that's been banging his daughter or something stupid like that, and then all the other retards that join, and we're the ones that are putting up with it.
John Hawkins, feel free to join and tell us how you feel an equatorial mount proves you're on a sphere, and I'll point out where your presupposition lies. Feel free to join.
Yeah. And the other thing to remember is, right, if you're in Australia at the minute, right, you're in winter, so at midnight, you're telling me that the sun is underneath your ass? Really?
Aye. Why has it all gone quiet? I don't get it. Like,
probably because Arwen's not talking about double forces and one experiment.
No.
Oh, well, you and Arwen were getting at it, weren't you, Nate, before?
Not really. I thought Nathan put up a full fight. I don't know why he lets Arwen get away with so much nonsense if it was rumpus. But Nathan he'd have kicked him hours ago.
He puts a spell on people.
Oh,
I think Nathan fancies Arwen.
I think he has a wand in his. He has a wand in his hand, and he's casting a spell as he's talking to you.
I think Nathan fancies Arwen because anybody else he'd have kicked him ages ago.
I'm secretly in love with Arwen.
Yeah, it must be.
It is. I confess.
All these apparently, Stiggy says all these cowards in one panel. Well, join the debate. Walk on in. We're not being cowardly. Yeah. We're open. We're literally an open door for you to come and talk to us. We're not being the ones being cowards. if anything, we're the ones inviting people to come and challenge us. We're not like Sly that you won't. You need to be talking to him in the side chat like you are, Stiggy. Just jump on the panel, click the link, and you come. Put your gob where your mouth is, or where your fingers are.
Stiggy? What's Stiggy's name?
Stiggy Van Vandrestrikeen.
He's a flat earther. Yeah. He makes good videos. He made a really good video, and I'm sure I shared it about a week ago. Stiggy's a good guy.
I got it wrong again. Apparently, he was talking about the Globians.
There you go. Told you, the Globians are cowards.
Yeah, they're all cowards, and none of them can tell the truth. None of them can ever concede any points. And you've got Sean Huffrod that's telling everybody that it's reasonable that somebody within the flat Earth scene has managed to get 30,000 subs in the last 2 weeks or whatever it is. It's ridiculous, Sean. If I was to do that, the level of hypocrisy and bias here is unbelievable. You'd just rip me a new bottom hole, and you know you would. But why is it different for him?
Because they're not fake when it's part of the fake world of heliocentricity, you know.
No, they're only fake when it does.
It's fake when it's us.
Okay. Well, look at it another way, yeah. All right, let's just suppose for a moment that they're not fake subs, right? Let's suppose that there's people that have been telling me that this guy is being promoted by YouTube and he's appearing in their feeds. Right, yeah, but what I'm saying is, if this is true, right, and they are genuinely real subs with real views, real comments, real people that are going to keep coming back to his channel, then this is very dangerous for Flat Earth as a whole and for the people that are actually in it. So if he does a video, let's say, against Mark Sargent, and he does a video against Mark Sargent and it becomes very popular and he gets 200,000 views on it, then whenever you search for Mark Sargent, if they are genuine views and he has genuine subscribers, that guy's nonsense will be at the top of the search bar.
But there's only people like Arwin that will believe it and accept it. Everybody else that knows anything about the movement itself will realise that this is just nonsense. Like all of his videos, I mean, look at it. He's attacking like low-hanging fruit, as Tim would describe it, and he's getting 1.3 million views on it. Come on.
Well, all I'm saying is we don't know what the guy's intentions are, who's supporting him, who's promoting him, why he has been promoted by YouTube, what his intentions are going down the line, and what he could potentially be doing to flat earthers and their reputations by his popularity and the way he does mention other people in his videos.
What flat earthers do you know that have reputations, though?
It doesn't matter, because if you go searching for anybody, right? I mean, it's like if you go searching for me, the Limitless channel who bought people to watch their crap. When you search Ranty Flat Earth, his is one of the top videos, and essentially he will be doing a rebuttal this week saying that he was wrong. He shouldn't have done it. I was blah, 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 blah. But that still won't alter the fact that whoever has searched for me in the past, month or so, will have come across that video first. And if their first impression of me is that I'm a liar and I'm a fraud and I'm doing CGI stuff, then that is the impression that they will stick with, and they'll just move on to the next person. So essentially, they can be very dangerous. People like that, who can do things like that, are very, very dangerous to other channels.
Not really. I don't see that at all. I see the ones that are more dangerous are the ones that can actually provide when challenged. And, for example, somebody that can produce evidence when requested.
You'll be surprised how fickle people are. Trust me. You've been indoctrinated your entire life. You heard about Flat Earth. Go and check Mark Sargent out. You go and click the first thing that comes up. Mark Sargent's this, that, and the other. And the next thing, right, okay, I can't be bothered looking at Flat Earth anymore. Yeah? And that's how it would work. That is genuinely how it would work. And they'd be on to the next one and the next one. Sean Hawkins, hello.
Hello, Sean.
Hello.
Good to have you.
Good to be here.
So, do you want to tell us how you feel an equatorial mount proves we live on a sphere?
Because it was designed to work on a sphere. It was designed to work on a spinning ball. And it works anywhere on that spinning ball flawlessly, with or without a computer mount. The computer mount just makes it convenient.
How are you going to prove it's a ball?
Hey, hold on. Hey, SX. How you doing, SX? Good to have you.
A computer mount is only really good.
Hey, George. How you doing?
Finding things quickly and keeping them centered for photography. That's what a computer mount is for.
Hey, George.
Now, you can hand crank an equatorial telescope mount and keep any body
Hello.
anything in the heavens centered.
Hello. I'm here.
Now, it doesn't matter where it is. If you can see it, doing it manually, you have to see the object. But if there's a computer involved, it will automatically track that object flawlessly and keep it back in view when it comes up around the horizon. Now, explain to me on a flat Earth, I'm not done, on a flat Earth that's flat, that all the heavenly bodies spin in a circle, in a perfect circle centered over the North Pole. Explain to me how, when you go off center to the North Pole, you do not see oval or elliptical star trails, because that's exactly what you'd see looking off center to a circle. When you look off
prove to me you live on a ball and that your thing works on a
at an
ball,
angle
and you can have it.
to a circle, you get an oval, and that's not what we see in real life. Also,
so you want
an equatorial telescope mount only tracks in one axis. Explain to me how you can track an oval in one axis.
So which question do you want us to answer first? Because you've just literally waffled off about 5.
Well, why should we explain? Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
It starts with your assertion. It starts with your assertion, sir.
Oh, God.
Yeah, your nightmare is here, Quantum Eraser. Yeah.
Not really a nightmare.
Listen, I already gave you a toll-free number.
Stop. Let's get some ground rules. One person at a time, please.
Right, let me start with your assertion. Your assertion was that it only works on a ball. Prove that it's a ball, and then I'll give you that it only works on a ball. That's your assertion before we get to our explanation.
Because it was designed to work on a ball, and
right.
any 3D model, any 3D model that you can present that represents the reality that you believe in, whether it's a ball Earth or a flat Earth, the equatorial telescope mount fails miserably.
So prove it's a ball then, and then we'll give you the telescope.
Or what?
Prove it's a ball, and we'll give you that your telescope works.
Because it was designed to work on a ball, and it works.
It only works on a sphere.
The planet that we live on.
A sphere, and then we'll give you that your telescope does what you say.
No, it only works on a sphere, and as it works, therefore we're on a sphere.
Oh, so it's an affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy then?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Prove that it's a sphere, and you can have it.
Right. So this is the... Oh, God, we're getting trolled to all hell again. Marvellous.
It only works because it's presupposing a ball.
Exactly.
No, it only works because it was designed to work on that geometry.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that there's no computer system that would allow an equatorial mount to do the same thing on a plane?
Not in one axis. Which is
so
only
what's the answer to the question?
One axis that travels on, the axis that is aligned parallel to the rotation of the Earth.
It's not one axis though, is it? It's two axes that are doing it, so that's wrong for a start. You've got that.
Have you?
It has multiple axes on the mechanism itself. But once you set those multiple axes on us, because you have to move them to get to the to make the telescope point to a star or the sun or the moon. Sure. But once you get it set, it only rotates on one axis. The axis that is parallel to the rotation of the planet, the North and South Pole.
Have you tested it on a flat plane, though?
They have.
To know that it doesn't work?
The geometry wouldn't work. You can do that, prove that mathematically.
They tested it.
Prove that it's a sphere for your presupposition to be proven.
Block for Block had a hangout, and he showed how his equatorial telescope mount works on a flat Earth, but he only put it on the North Pole. And he said, I challenge anybody to go out and prove to me on a 3D, on CGI, Blender or whatever, that it will not work. And they fucking went on a live hangout right then, proved him wrong. And that piece of work wouldn't even go and open up another tab to click and watch his paradigm being destroyed.
Scared.
Yeah,
absolutely scared.
We're quivering in our boots. Is this scientific evidence?
This is absolute scientific.
All right. Share my screen, Nathan.
It's absolute scientific evidence.
All
Go
right.
watch the video.
You're on.
Watch the hangout.
You're up.
All right. Natural phenomena observed, please.
When you invent a tool that works on the
Natural
object
phenomena observed, please.
you have no choice.
Natural
Sean.
phenomena observed,
Sean.
please.
Let me just explain what's going on, Sean. He's just asked you if this is scientific evidence. You responded in the affirmative. Now he's going to go through how scientific it really is.
Okay, go ahead.
Natural phenomena observed, please.
Rumpus, did you notice the word natural there?
Well, he's an idiot. We know quantum rays is an idiot. He's demonstrating he's an idiot here.
Who is?
It should be physical phenomenon. He's put the wrong word in. He's chosen a word that doesn't make it right.
It's physical, dude. It works physically.
Yeah, no, but he's put the word natural, and Nathan's got this obsession with natural not being something happens physical. So he doesn't believe in vacuums and things, even though you can have them in trees. They've got this strange idea that they've included the word natural, and they're getting that from nowhere. They just decided we'll make it natural, so we'll exclude all the man-made things. You can't do experiments on vacuums. You can't do, you couldn't create the television because you wouldn't be able to do experiments on cathode ray tubes or vacuums or anything man-made. And apparently, you can't even use a torsion bar to measure force because that's man-made. They're denying about 99% of all known science. These are science and reality deniers. I mean,
Can you read?
it's
Hold on.
Hey,
Hold
Rumpus,
on.
Hello?
Rumpus, can you read the paragraph that's highlighted for me, please?
Nathan, these are documents that quantum eraser Hey, Rumpus.
Physical. It's physical and
Rumpus,
natural. Hold on, I'm in the middle
Rumpus.
of answering a question, George.
Jesus Christ.
So, yes, it says physical. There you go, physical and natural world. So it includes both of them. So he's just definitely brought out the definition of natural world, but there's still the definition of physical world. This guy's an idiot. He doesn't even understand English. What a moron.
Rumpus, you need to understand quantum eraser is famous for doctoring up and creating
from a demonstrated liar.
Really good for cutting and pasting.
One at a time. Hold on. Can you let George speak? Rumpus, can you let George speak?
So even by his own definition.
Can you let George speak, please? Rumpus, can you let George speak?
Even by his own quote.
Rumpus, one more time, then you're getting kicked out. Just let George speak.
I can speak now?
Hopefully.
Do you want me to leave you to it, George?
Rumpus, please. Just give me a minute. This is the same stuff that quantum eraser pulled on me on the Coriolis effect. He lifted bullet points off a book, doctored them up, added his own words to give it his own meaning. He has never posted any original documents or any copies of original documents. I tried to do the sort of thing when we were discussing or tried to get a document on ethical standards of engineers, and Nathan wouldn't let me go to my site to get it. And then I ended up finding a document that was posted by the University of Washington. And if you went to the bottom, it said reprinted by permission of the NCEES, which is the National Council of Examiners for Engineers and Surveyors. Whereas quantum eraser is allowed to put up BS that he creates. He emphasizes words that are not in the original documents. In fact, there are no original documents that he posts. These are things that he has created to give the meaning that he wants. He lifts bullet points off documents without reading the whole document. And if you go to the original document, you will find that the meaning has been completely twisted by quantum eraser, like on the Coriolis effect. If he goes to this book that he so much brandished around as being authoritative by Douglas Seeger on the Introduction to Ocean Sciences, you will find in there nowhere in the bullet points that he lifted, which were out of the CC12s, which are Critical Concepts 12 of that book. And he was trying to make it sound like the atmosphere the Earth turns independently of the atmosphere. And that's not what the book said at all in the context. It was saying that the atmosphere as a whole rotates at the same speed as the surface of the Earth, but there can be air masses within the atmosphere that act independently and are subjected to the Coriolis effect. But the whole atmosphere as a whole, taken in its entirety, rotates with the surface of the Earth at the same rate as the surface of the Earth.
I don't understand, George.
And
if that's the case, sorry, can I just
okay?
ask George a quick question, and then hopefully you'll give John an opportunity to respond. But my quick question is, if they're rotating together, then it's not Coriolis. You have separate reference frames in the Coriolis effect, regardless of Earth-based or not. That is the Coriolis. Separate. Sorry, I hadn't quite finished.
The Earth,
hadn't quite
is a
finished.
rotating
Hadn't
frame.
quite finished, George. I made sure
air
you had
masses.
enough air to answer your question, and air as much as you liked. I've got about 5 seconds out of you. Thank you. So, the Coriolis effect, regardless of whether it's Earth-based, just the Coriolis effect, forget what it's in reference to, specifically is about having 2 separate reference frames. If we don't have... right. Thank you for confirming what I am saying before I've said it. Thank you, George. Yes, 2 separate reference frames in order to achieve the Coriolis effect. That, by definition, is the Coriolis effect. So, if you are asserting that we don't have separate reference frames, why would we have any Coriolis effect?
I never said that. I said you can have independent masses of air within the atmosphere that act independently of the atmosphere in its entirety. So you have 2 reference frames. You have an observer standing on the surface of the Earth, and you have a reference frame on these air masses that act independently.
And Nathan, can you just read what Ali B's just said in the side chat? Literally just now. He's just put, must be a nightmare for pilots dodging these rogue pockets of atmosphere. Does that make sense to you there, George?
Well, they are. You have shear force.
You're not familiar with wind, aren't you, Ranty?
No, rogue pockets.
You're denying
wind.
that there's
It's called wind.
Rogue pockets
Sorry,
of
so
atmosphere.
let me get this straight. So the bullet deflection is caused by wind.
Not about the bullet deflection. We're talking about air deflection.
A bullet deflection, a bullet trajectory is independent of the atmosphere.
Coriolis.
Sorry, when it was described... Sorry, just let me get it clear. Sorry, George, just let me get it clear. When it was explained in the videos that I've watched on bullets that are asserted to be moved, it's because the Earth is moving underneath the bullet, according to the definition cited in those videos. They say the Earth continues to rotate underneath the bullet while it travels through this... Sorry, I hadn't quite finished. You're doing a bit of a rumpus, George. So it's asserted that the bullet strays because of a Coriolis effect. When it leaves the Earth, which continues to turn underneath that reference frame, that's why you have a deflection. Now, you're saying that the reference frame it travels through, and according to them causes the deflection, isn't a separate reference frame. Is that correct?
I did not say that.
So is it... so just let me get a concise answer from you, George. Is the Earth and atmosphere separate reference frames or one reference frame?
Really?
You can consider it a single reference frame.
So how do we have the Coriolis effect then?
Because there are masses of... Okay.
What, wind? Wind, George? Because of wind? Sorry, what were you going to say, George? What were you going to say? Masses of what?
What are we talking about here?
What were you going to say, George? Pockets of what? Wind?
I was going to say, yes, if you have a ballistic projectile, like going from a gun or a howitzer gun, a rifle or whatever, that is a reference frame that is independent of the atmosphere as a whole and the Earth as a whole. The atmosphere and the Earth can be considered as a single reference frame, and that projectile is another reference frame.
Correct.
Sorry, the projectile is the thing that's going to be deflected according to the point of view of the observer. It's not a reference.
No.
Sorry, I hadn't finished again, George. Again, I got halfway through a sentence, and now you're talking again. The bullet is the thing we're observing. The reference frame is the roundabout and the air, or the earth and the atmosphere, not the bullet.
The bullet deflects with respect to an observer on the surface of the earth or traveling with the atmosphere as a whole. To someone on the surface, that bullet appears to deflect, whereas from the bullet's point of view, its reference frame, it's going in a straight line.
Yes, I understand that the bullet's travelling in a straight line, but from your point, it's deflected because it's no longer in its original reference frame when it was attached to the earth in the gun.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
So let me get it clear. So let me get it clear. It is when leaving the gun in a separate reference frame. Then
at the point it leaves the muzzle of the gun, it's in its own reference frame.
So it's in a separate. So it's in a separate reference frame to the Earth spinning underneath. Exactly as described in the Coriolis effect. So we have separate reference frames, the atmosphere and the Earth, exactly as I asserted.
No, the atmosphere and the Earth are the same.
Rumpus, I'm not talking to you.
No. The atmosphere is attached to the Earth.
Oh, so why do we get the Coriolis effect then, George? Again, I'm back to being confused because you've just gone through it step by step with me, and we've established that the reason it deflects is because when it leaves the gun, it goes into a separate reference frame. Now you're saying that it's attached. So I'm a bit confused, George.
No, I did not say that. I said the bullet is in its own reference frame, traveling in a straight line through the atmosphere. The atmosphere is attached to the Earth in a rotating reference frame. So there are two reference frames.
If it's attached,
the bullet in its own trajectory, which is in a straight line in its reference frame, and then the atmosphere in general as a whole appears to be attached to the Earth.
Not in general, and as a whole it appears. That's three separate things you just said there, and all of them are bullshit.
I'm back to being confused. If it's leaving the gun and in the same reference frame, there is no deflection, George.
I'm sorry, say what again?
If it leaves the gun and is in the same reference frame with the atmosphere... I hadn't finished, George. If you could let me finish a single sentence, you might find out. According to you, they are the same reference frame, the atmosphere and the Earth. If that
I did not say that. No,
he said atmosphere. That's correct, George. He said atmosphere and the Earth. You misheard him.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm watching.
He was correct.
Something.
He was correct.
Okay. Yes, the atmosphere and the Earth are the same reference frame. The bullet trajectory, the bullet projectile is in a reference frame separate from the Earth and the atmosphere.
Well, that's two different things. You can't have it be in the same reference frame and in a different reference frame. That's doublespeak.
It's not
I never claimed it.
Rumpus, you have got one more chance to shut your mouth, Rumpus. Rumpus, one more time. I'm talking to George.
Nathan, maybe you should say it slower for him. I don't think he's getting it.
I'll say it nice and slow for George. Yes, I think you're right. I'll try it one more time, nice and slow. In order to have the Coriolis effect, we must have two separate reference frames so that we can see the bullet deflect. If there is not two separate reference frame, there is no deflection to see. So, when the bullet leaves the gun, it must be in a separate reference frame in order to see any deflection.
Correct.
So we have a separate reference frame, the atmosphere.
No, it's the same as the Earth.
So then we don't see a deflection because it's not leaving the reference frame.
The bullet leaves the Earth atmosphere reference frame to have its own reference frame. Therefore, you've got two reference frames.
Sorry, it leaves the Earth atmosphere reference frame.
The Earth and the atmosphere are in the same reference frame, except when
why am I now having this conversation with Rumpus? I was talking to George.
Okay, I think a critical point that you're missing here, Nathan, is the bullet is inside the gun. We're talking before it gets shot and leaves the muzzle of the gun. The Earth, the atmosphere, the gun are in the same rotating reference frame.
And the bullet to start off with.
No, Rumpus, please.
So let me just collect some clarity, George. So everything, the gun, the atmosphere, everything is all in one reference frame.
The bullet as well.
Rumpus, right, it's time to kick the rumpus out. He just can't contain himself. Bye-bye, rumpus. Yet another time you can't keep your mouth shut.
Bye, rumpus.
So, it's all one reference frame, right, George? According to you.
Before the bullet exits the muscle, it's all in one reference frame.
Well, it's attached to the Earth, so it's attached to the Earth spinning reference frame.
Yes, and it is...
Don't kick me.
Okay, just for simplification, let's say we're at the equator, okay? Now, we all agree that in the spherical Earth model, the Earth spins at the equator with a tangential velocity of about 1,035 miles per hour.
No, we don't all agree on that. Absolutely not. Why would you assert such utter crap?
Well, I'm trying to explain the Coriolis effect to you. And
I don't need a spinning Earth to understand Coriolis. I can have it explained with a roundabout. You sit on a roundabout, it spins. You throw the ball, and because it's no longer attached to the spinning roundabout, from your position on the roundabout, it looks like it deflects. Although it continues in a straight line in its separate reference frame, the atmosphere.
Correct.
Now, you're saying that the atmosphere is attached to the roundabout.
The roundabout being the Earth, yes.
So if it's attached, when you let go of the ball, it's in the same reference frame, George.
No, it's acting independently.
Yeah, because if it's in the same reference frame, you
you're
don't get...
You're assuming that the atmosphere is carrying the projectile, which it doesn't.
Oh, sorry.
It's in free flight. It's in what we call free flight. It's acting independent of the air and the atmosphere.
Free flight through the separate reference frame, which is why we see the deflection. Correct?
Yes.
So we have a separate reference frame, George.
Yes, the Earth and the atmosphere.
Excellent. So the Earth and the atmosphere are two separate reference frames, George.
That's what I just said.
No, you continually asserted that they were attached, that they were one. Are you that stupid and senile that you can't remember what you said 2 minutes ago?
No, I haven't been inconsistent.
You said they were attached. Now, after dragging it out of you, you're now conceding that they are separate, George. So, do we have a firm concession?
Let's step back. What is attached?
Do we have a firm concession that in order for the Coriolis effect to exist, the bullet must travel into a separate reference frame? Take your time, George.
The atmosphere and the Earth are attached is a same rotating reference frame.
Then we don't have any Coriolis effect, George. If the ball is being thrown on a roundabout, but the atmosphere is travelling with the roundabout, it doesn't go into a separate reference frame. Therefore, you see no deflection, George. That's the antithesis of the Coriolis effect.
No, you're confusing.
No, I'm not confused. The Coriolis effect is very simple to understand. In order for it to be there, you need two separate reference frames. It's very clear.
You have two separate reference frames. You've got the roundabout with your atmosphere as one reference frame.
No, the atmosphere doesn't carry along with the roundabout. What kind of a dingbat are you? How many roundabouts have you seen with force fields carrying their atmosphere in a circle?
Well, of course, a roundabout can't do that.
Right! You absolute buffoon of an idiot. So we don't have two, then, George. We have one, because every roundabout has a force field around it with its own atmosphere that's the same reference frame as the spinning roundabout, you dingbat. Is that right?
No, you're the one that's obfuscating this thing. Forget about the roundabout. We're talking about the Coriolis effect on the Earth.
No, the Coriolis effect is the Coriolis effect. Doesn't matter what it's on. In order to have a Coriolis effect, George, why am I having to school you, old git? Why don't you know what the Coriolis effect is? Two separate reference frames are needed.
Take a step back. Take a step back. What are you talking about? Are you talking about like a merry-go-round or what you're calling a roundabout on a playground, or are we talking about the Earth?
I'm talking about the Coriolis effect.
Yes.
Yes, and in order to have a Coriolis effect, George, in order for it to exist, you have to have two separate reference frames.
What are you talking about here? Are we going to talk about a
roundabout talking all over me again, George.
Talk about the Earth?
George, the Coriolis effect is an effect that is regardless of Earth. It exists. It's real. You don't need an earth to explain the Coriolis effect.
If you have two separate, if you have a rotating and a non-rotating reference frame, you have a Coriolis effect.
Shut up, George. I hadn't finished speaking. You're very rude. In order to have... You're doing it again. In order to have a Coriolis effect, you must have two reference frames. If you don't, then you don't have a Coriolis effect.
Okay, I agree with that.
So, in order for the bullet to be subject to a Coriolis effect, you must have the Earth as one reference frame and the atmosphere as the other, George.
No.
Well, then you don't have a Coriolis effect. If you don't have separate reference frames, that's what the Coriolis effect is, George. Why is this taking so long to drum into you that is the Coriolis effect? The effect of deflection caused by two separate reference frames.
No, you're mixing up the fact that the bullet, when it leaves the gun, the muzzle of a gun, that it's somehow attached to the to a reference frame to the atmosphere, and that is false. That is totally incorrect. The bullet, the projectile, acts independent of the atmosphere. It's in its own reference frame that has nothing to do with the atmosphere.
Really? So it doesn't travel through the atmosphere at all?
Yes, it does.
So it has everything to do with the atmosphere then, George?
No. Okay, take a roundabout. Take a child's merry-go-round. You take a ball. You're at the center of the merry-go-round. It's spinning. You take a ball. You roll it outward. To a person standing on the merry-go-round, on the surface of the merry-go-round, it looks like it curves. But with respect to the ball...
No, wrong. If you roll a ball on a roundabout whilst looking at it, and it is still in contact with the roundabout, it travels in a straight line from your position and in actuality. If you roll it on the roundabout, then you will not see any Coriolis effect because you are doing it in a single reference frame, you idiot.
No, I'm not doing it in a single. There's two references.
Yeah. The reference frame is the roundabout and the atmosphere is a separate reference frame. If you roll the ball on the roundabout, it remains in the same reference frame, George.
No, in the case of a roundabout, you don't even have to worry about the atmosphere. The atmosphere is independent. It's a third entity that you don't even worry about. You throw a ball on a roundabout, it goes out on a straight line from the center of the roundabout out. It's in its reference frame, and the roundabout is its own reference frame. The atmosphere has nothing to do with it.
Sorry, it went into the atmosphere, George.
Yeah, so what?
Well, that was the separate reference frame.
It's a third reference frame.
Sorry, what's the second reference frame then?
First reference frame is the ball.
No, the second. Try to open your ears. Are you deaf? Is your age causing you to lose hearing? Not the first. The first would be the roundabout. I would assert. Shut your mouth. I would assert that the second is the atmosphere. You're saying the third is the atmosphere. So tell me what the second is.
The ball.
The ball's not a reference frame.
Yes, it is. It has
a
ball
is a ball. It's the thing that's going to be deflected when travelling in the second reference frame. It's the thing you're observing being deflected as a result of its travelling through the second reference frame. It's not a reference frame in and of itself, you idiot.
Yes, it is. No, you're the idiot.
Sorry.
God,
Are you serious? You're telling me a ball is a reference frame?
Yeah, I'm very serious.
No, you don't understand the Coriolis effect. You're an idiot.
No, hardly.
And
yes, you are. You're an idiot.
Get him out of here.
Oh, John, you're an intellectual lightweight. My God.
I got a video of George giving his dog the chili willy.
Oh, get lost, P. Mars. You're a disgusting human being. If even that.
Really? Says the man who tried to ruin another man's career by contacting the people who gave him his license and questioning his integrity. Is that right, George? He's a disgusting human being, is he? Even though you put somebody's career at risk by contacting their license supplier. Yeah, you are total garbage, George. You are a disgusting human being, and you have lied through your back teeth about things that happened in the aftermath.
Hey, you know what the elephant in the room here is?
You being a lying sack of shit? Yeah, it's not really an elephant. Everybody knows that you're a lying sack of shit, George. We all look at you with disdain.
Well, I don't give a damn.
Well, that's fine by me, but I am literally disgusted by you. I'm holding back sick whilst talking to you.
You're all a bunch of nutcases.
Really, that's a great position to be in. And you ballers are all liars, every last one of you. yeah, over the last week, we've shown a whole bunch of your gaggle of idiots to be complete disingenuous liars, George. You're one of them, yeah? With your 3-day-old comments that you claim to have spread all over the place about Bill Miller. Any signs of Bill Miller, by the way, George? Where is this Bill Miller character? Apparently he was a very prevalent flat earther that none of us have heard of.
I never said he's prevalent.
Oh, right. Just nobody's heard of him then, so why would you reference him if nobody's heard of him?
Have you heard of, what is
let's just stick to Bill Miller. Don't try and ham-handedly segue away from your disingenuous lies, George.
Yeah, you were people that
BM. He was referencing BM in a thread about Brian Mullen.
Yeah, referencing BM in a thread about Brian Mullen, and then suddenly he decides that it's not Brian Mullen anymore because basically he'd claimed that he could get in touch with him or had got in touch with him.
I never claimed I got in touch with Brian Mullen.
Yeah, you
never did.
You said you got in touch with
No,
BM.
I didn't.
So you got in touch with Bill Miller, did you?
Yeah.
So you used BM. You used BM on a thread about Brian Mullen. Where was he? And you was using BM. Obviously, everyone's going to assume Brian Mullen.
I've never
Why would you then
referred to
turn
Brian
around and
Mullen
say Bill
as
Miller?
BM.
Did you think it was quite funny?
I've always used his
We saw
name.
right
I've
through
always
you. We
used
saw
it
right
for-
through you. There is no Bill
I've
Miller.
used last name as Mullen, or I've referred to him as Brian Mullen.
Why didn't you correct Wolfie then? When Wolfie, the very next message in the thread that Anthony used, to you, so a comment directed at you, George, said Brian Mullen, and you did not correct him. So why didn't you correct Wolfie? I don't get it.
Wolfie?
Yeah, his immediate message afterwards was about Brian Mullen and about you contacting Brian Mullen, but you didn't correct him.
No, it was that retard Jesse Kozlowski.
Oh, sorry, you're right. It was Jesse Kozlowski.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He replied to you by name as a reply, i.e. it says plus George Netanyahu, and then he spoke to you directly after that message you're talking about with BM in it and said specifically about Brian Mullen by name, and you did not correct him.
I didn't read the message.
Oh, that's handy. Right.
I don't know. I don't know what I don't recall. I don't
much.
remember what Jesse said or did not say. I don't go around correcting everybody on the message board.
What did Bill Miller say to you?
Regarding what?
What was the conversation with Bill Miller about?
Oh, it was several months ago. I had a conversation with him on and off about the flat earth, and I showed him where some of the flat earth concepts were wrong, just like I did with Barbie. Remember Barbie? She had about 3,500
Don't worry about Barbie.
subs.
Just specifically concentrate on the conversation you said you had. Specifically, hold on. I want to concentrate on. Hold on, Anthony. I want to concentrate on the conversation you had with Bill Miller, because you said that you'd had a conversation with him. So I want to know what that conversation specifically was about.
I said I've talked to him a number of occasions over the last few months about some of the claims that flat earthers were made, specifically the stuff from Eric Dubé and others, and showed him where he got the physics wrong and where a lot of the stuff was just plain BS. And he came around and saw that a lot of these flat earth videos were just plain wrong. I showed him even Brian Mullen's stuff and how he had totally botched up concepts in physics. And so he started telling some of his flat earth friends, and they started getting really nasty. They didn't want him to leave the fold, just like what happened to Barbie.
George, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. George, you're telling me you said it 3 times. I showed him this, I showed him that. My question was about the phone conversation you said you had with him. Tell me about what was said during the conversation on the phone that you detailed in that message.
Well, we just talked about his conversion over to leaving flat earth behind.
So what was said? What were the words used by you and him?
I don't know specifically the words. I didn't record it.
No, but you could surely remember vaguely.
I can give you the general gist of the conversation. I can't give it to you.
Give me some of the words that were used specifically. The words. Not what you showed him.
I can't give you the words specifically.
Why not? It's a phone conversation. I can remember a phone conversation that I had several months ago. You just vaguely remember the conversation enough to put it in absolutely dozens of YouTube thread comments like it was extremely important. And now you can't remember what the conversation was about. I don't really understand, George. That makes no sense.
Do you have his telephone number? Perhaps we could give him a call.
Get it. I was trying to get Anthony's attention. I posted it originally to his thread, and then I wanted to make sure him and the other flat earthers were going to see this, just to see what the reaction was going to be.
So you were
to see
lying.
if they are going to jump to conclusions that I was talking about Brian Mullen or Bill Miller, and
yes,
you
like
guys
Jesse
didn't
did.
disappoint me whatsoever. You
like Jesse did.
Conclusions. If you'd done proper research and gone
Sorry,
to
I'm
the
asked
original...
you about a phone conversation you've had, George, and what was specifically said on the phone conversation, and now you're going to how you were testing other people. It seems to me like the person you duped was Jesse, but you didn't mention anything to him. So why would you assert that?
Yeah. I just want to say
Nathan,
there's a world of difference between Bill Miller
man.
and Brian Mullen, right? Brian Mullen is like universally well known on the flat Earth, and you would respond into that in his chat. Sorry, not his chat. In a video about him, right? And when you said that you were trying to trick us by using BM, like anybody would know Bill Miller. Nobody's even heard of the guy. So when you say we don't do our research, we didn't even know who you were. I'm not being funny, mate, but you're nobody anyway. So why would we care about you having a conversation with somebody that we don't know as well? How would we get our research if that was the case? The only person that you made to look an idiot was yourself.
Let me ask you a question. Nathan, would you like me to demonstrate George to be lying literally right now?
I think he's been sniped out of the Hangout.
Oh,
thank the Lord.
Let's demonstrate that he's lying about the Jesse Kozlowski comment. If Ranty's able to get up that thread that was started by Astronomy FE or FE Astronomy.
Hold on. Hey, Gods. How you doing?
Hey.
Good to have you.
Can I ask this George one?
Oh, damn it.
Is there a sniper in the back chat?
Yeah, I can't cope on my own. Fortunately, there's no one helping me in the Hangout, so it's just me against the trolls. It'd be great if a few guests from the show chat could actually join just to fill up the Hangout, just so we don't have to constantly battle with trolls. Oh, I've lost the whole thing out.
They sniped him for a reason.
We're still here.
Oh, cool.
Probably sniped for his own good to stop himself from looking even worse.
He was getting annihilated.
Listen, Ranty, do me a favour. Go to George Netanyahu's channel. Open up the video in concern, the one that said Nathan's wreck, discussing Nathan's wreck of a show or whatever.
George, how do you even spell his name?
George H-N-A-T.
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, Two-Dimensional, how you doing?
So I'm looking for a video about what, sorry?
In his last couple of videos, it's the one that says discussing Nathan's wreck of a show or something like that.
I don't see it. Nothing with that title anyway.
Just go back to his last 4 videos. What are they entitled?
Infinite grid update, electric network, swimming with Khan, capacitance between 2 spheres, amplifier with 3 independent sources, superposition solution, network theory, chainsaw, battery pack, fireworks on Rainy River.
Maybe he's
removed it.
He must have removed it.
Oh, that's okay, because I've got it in my video. But basically, when he said that Jesse Kozlowski, when you said, why didn't you correct Jesse Kozlowski in his last in the comment immediately below Anthony's? And his response was, because I didn't see it. Well, if you look at the next comment is George responding to Jesse, and he didn't correct it. So his answer for giving what you said, Nathan, was not credible.
So he's just lying again, basically.
Yeah. But is that video gone now, Ranty?
Well, I can't see the video that you've just referenced, so I mean I haven't really been as close to this conversation as you have, so I'm just doing as you asked, and I can't find it.
Let me have a look. I'll put myself on mute. I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Hey Nathan, how are you doing?
Very well. Who's that? Oh, it's Apollo. How you doing? Good to have you.
Well, not so good. I just tried to format an 80 megabyte MFM hard drive, but unfortunately it doesn't want to format, so that's unfortunate.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah. It's a big full height hard drive. So it's massive.
If I could, I'd just like to add again one little detail, sort of like with the use of density, but instead with what we're using as pressure in airs and gases. The air that we have, our regular atmosphere, contains water. Water, when it's in a liquid form, has a certain volume. When it vaporizes, evaporates, it increases in volume. Evaporating water also takes away heat, rises up with it. Where it loses the heat, condenses, drops pressure, and drops rain. It's a cycle. So where is pressure coming from? The vapor pressure of water in the air exerts a force. So that's pressure.
Hey, where's the before the verbal diarrhea got going? Where's the guy with the Equatorial mount scientific evidence?
He got kicked.
Did he get kicked?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Nathan, just to confirm that George Nathaniuk has removed that video. I've still got the comments that were in that thread, and when I get home, I'll take your screenshot and I'll send you one. But he's deleted that video, so we're not going to be able to cite the reference. But Jesse Kozlowski was not corrected. You are quite correct to bring that question up. And his comment was that he did not see the comment. Well, he did. He directly responded to Jesse.
Did you remove the video about Foucault as well?
Yeah, of course he
did. Just making sure.
Silly ranty. I was half cut when I made that. I realised. I thought, oh shit. But you know what though? This is the difference between ballers and flat earthers, right? Even when faced with the most damning of evidence, George will not admit to his crimes. Geo Strieber will not admit to his crimes. Sean will continue the lie anyway, no matter how stupid the position that he maintains is, or the evidence that's against him. But at least when I do something wrong, I'll remove the video. And that is the right thing to do.
Okay. Just clearing that up, because I don't want people to actually sort of like soundbite that and sort of like say, well, you did it and you haven't admitted it. So good of you for owning that.
Yeah, but I can admit I made a mistake. George is defending his position but has deleted the video. You can't do that. That's a direct contradiction.
So you're not going to re-upload it then?
No, don't be silly, Ranty.
Okay.
What about your Ken Burns video? Has that been deleted, Ranty?
No, I think it's still up there, isn't it? It's on my channel. I'm sure it is. Well, I know it was on the old channel. I never took it down then either. If I have it, it's up. And if it isn't, it isn't. I still stand by that.
To be honest, Ranty, I agree with you. You did have a burn.
Damn right I did.
Don't y'all think that if George would have came out like a man and, followed up on what he did and admitted to it, don't you think that, people would have had more respect for him?
Yeah.
Yeah, same goes for Geo Strieber.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're digging the hole deeper. It just seems like they just don't want to admit it.
Correct.
Right, this show's been going a long time and I'm tired of trying to kick out trolls, so I'm probably going to kick out this last troll and get the round out done. So is there anything anybody wants to add before we do round out this show?
Not really.
Yeah, Geo Strieber, you can admit
shout
to
out to Joey. Shout out to Joey in the chat.
Yeah, shout out to Joey. Joey's cool.
Shout out to Sean Hufford, who's trying to trivialise the view count, the sub count for Simon Dan. Shout out to Geo Strieber, who won't admit his crimes but attacked me anyway. Shout out to George Nathaniuk for trying to destroy a man's career because he was wrong on the internet. In George's opinion.
Shout out retracted.
Yeah, and then we can retract all those shout outs.
Shout out to Arwin.
Shout out to Arwin. What for?
Arwin.
Shout out to Arwin for being the best that the ballers have got, better than Rumpus and better than Slide.
Cool. Anything else? Anybody else?
Go to my Patreon as well. You can look me up there. Find me on my channel. You'll see a video that I put up about my Patreon. So if you do find that you want to help me out with these experiments, I'll be going live later and explaining some of the experiments I will be doing. So yeah, smash that Patreon if you feel like you want to support myself and the work that I'll be doing.
Oh yeah, one more thing. I believe Globebusters will be broadcasting again in the next hour or two. Make sure you're all in church and you're all ready for communion. Pastor Bob will be hosting tonight's ceremony with Bishop Gerron and what's the other guy's name? Reverend John the Morgal. So that's from 8 o'clock British Summer Time on Globebusters. So make sure you're all there for communion.
Radius Dominus, Sanctus Spiritus Gravitus, Amen. In our we trust, go in peace. And with that, I will say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel, if I can say it with a cold, for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. But if you liked the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!